Okay, that's all done. Didn't realize I wasn't in the stream. Sounds okay. Hey, Wicked, how you doing, honey? Hello, I ain't gonna hide my kids. Sorry, I just set it up. Hey, Wicked, how you doing, honey? Hello, I ain't gonna hide. How is everyone tonight? Just gonna give it a moment for people to come in, hopefully. And for that on Do Not Disturb. Nobody wants to hear mine. I'm doing okay, a little flustered with everything that's going on online, but other than that, Shay, hey honey, sorry honey, I didn't recognize you then. I am so stressed out with everything that's going on with this Marvon stuff, I tell you. It's just wrong. It's one big mess. That's the only thing I'm really sure of. No problem, Jennifer. I know that is a rather long stream. They promised to be transparent, and that's one thing they haven't been. What should have been done is there should have been a set amount that they're trying to raise, and then to keep people updated on how much they've raised. That would have made things a lot more realistic. But we'll get into that now. I just don't know. It's like we're going through the Michael Long thing all over again. And give it 2 months and everyone will be going nuts because they lost their money. Yes, so many distractions. And then to trash someone when they ask for their money back. Like, not just say, I'm sorry you feel this way, but really go off on them. And why is Marvon's dad giving Molly money? That rings alarm bells to me. Molly got all excited that he'd given her money in a live chat. Yes and no, Jenny. I'm torn with that. Now, a donation for a YouTuber is, hey, there's $5. Have a good time. When there is a purpose for the money they're raising, and then it's not used for that. Like, say I came to you all and said, I need to buy a stair lift. And it's going to cost $3,000 to buy and $2,000 to install. I raise the money. And then last minute I decide, do you know what, stuff the stay left, I'm going to take my kids to Disneyland. How would people feel about that? I should just remind you all to go on to All Chat and not Top Chat, because I'm blind like that. Myself as a person, if I did that to people, I would feel bad. Oh, for sure. I think people are allowed to ask questions and should ask questions. There have been so many things that have been brought up that haven't been questioned. Like Marwan's father offered to take Letitia to the hospital, but she refused. If she'd gone with his father, she probably would have seen him. Yes, he had a debate with Dre, but she was told that she had no right to stop them visiting. There's that point. My son was born 2 pound 9 ounces. He was on life support for the first couple of weeks of his life. So I understand how it feels to have your child on life support. I didn't leave him for one moment. I was at his bedside morning, noon, and night. I didn't leave. I agree with you, Wicked, completely. There's been no transparency. We don't know how much money was raised. We don't know how much money is supposed to be raised. How much are they expecting people to donate to? Is there a figure? Is it an endless supply of... What was promised was transparency. They promised to be transparent, and anyone ask a question and they dragged through the dirt. You're wrong for asking. You're wrong for being suspicious. Now, Elle Bee done a stream, and I'm sorry, but Elle Bee's stream, where she turns around and says that if you're suspicious, then you're probably the one who is doing this. You're probably the one who's committing these things because you have suspicions. And they did say they would show receipts. They said they would be completely transparent. They would show any receipts asked for. Now, when anything is asked for, they are shot down. And this is part of my issue. My other issue is, why is the father giving Molly money? If we're raising money for him because his cash app has been put out there too, why is he then giving money to Molly? Am I the only one to find that suspicious? Yeah, and don't forget blocked. You've got Justin over on his channel telling them to put it in the pipe and smoke it. You've got Molly kicking off on every person who tries to ask a question. And then Elle Bee is over there deflecting. Let's make it all about Katie Joy. Now, I'll be the first person to come up and say, Katie Joy, you're out of order. Yep. A token of thanks when people are raising money for him, though. When people are donating money to him, but then he's giving we have no proof that they have. We have no proof that she's ever spoken to a lawyer. Nothing. She got down to see her son. What exactly are they asking people to do? Keep just giving money until whatever happens to Marwana happens? Like, I would love to say this guy is going to wake up. We don't know. But they're still, right now, they're still asking for money. Now, there's been an inflood of members on Molly's channel, on Justin's channel. Molly is signing autographed pictures to send people who joined her Patreon, which I thought is a whole new level of bizarre, by the way. I'm sorry, but no. What they put up, right, let me show you. I'm going to show you what they put up, right? Let me just share screen. I want to go lightly. Now we're going to go here. And we're going to go to the community page. Now, this is what Molly put out. Marwan's mother has teen legal counsel as of this evening. Now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to Google and I'm going to search it. Youth Legal Home, Legal Counsel for Youth and Children, Just for Kids Law, as you can see. Now, I would rather give a man a meal than give him money to go and potentially harm himself. That's just my personal preference. Jenny, every every opinion is welcome here, honey. I think I've said that before. Whether you're against what I'm saying or for what I'm against for what I'm saying, a conversation is a good conversation. And I'm open to all opinions, whether they're for what I'm saying or against. So please never feel like you need to apologize or explain. I'm not going to snap at you and call you a useless piece of trash because you disagree with me. She can be quite harsh when she's talking about things, and I've noticed that. And I don't think that is required. I don't think you need to be that harsh towards people. I don't think it gets anywhere by calling people trash. By telling people, you're lucky that I'm calling you human. That doesn't get you nowhere. Where does that get you? That's just a slanging match. What is the point of that? But that is what makes people think what is going on here. Now, I know that Molly's husband brings in a lot of money. But when she's raising money and she comes back and says, well, I just bought a brand new car for my son. Same wicked. I don't know why, it's just been something I've always done. But I sit down and have a conversation with them while they eat too. Molly is loud. That's the way she is. I get that. And that's not what I'm offended by. I'm offended by the way she speaks to people. The way she just talks down to them. Like she's just above them all. What is the purpose? Whether we're living on the streets or living up in a mansion, we are all equals. And I understand what you're saying, Amanda, completely. But then look at the people who have donated this money. One of them is disabled. She added the money because she's also a mother. Yeah, that would put me right off, Jenny. That would. That would put me right off completely. I wouldn't want a person doing that either. Thank you, honey. How you doing, TT? We are all equals, no matter where we live or how we live. Now, I like to buy a man a meal on the streets or a woman on the streets because I like to have a conversation with them. Like, what made you become homeless? How can we help you get off the streets? Is there a way I can help you? Because that's the kind of person I am. But I wouldn't go around saying, I want to raise money for someone to get into a house. But it's an endless pot, so I'm not going to tell you how much we need. I became suspicious when the dad sent Molly money. And possibly when she bought the car for her son. Yeah, for some it is a job. For me right now, no. Well, the car, Jenny? Do you mean the car? Molly bought her son, a 15-year-old son, a Camaro. Now, personally, I don't know much about cars, but my husband does because he's a mechanic. Oh, yeah, the dad gave money to help with school things. That was a definite red flag for me. Absolutely. And I'm sorry, but when she said she was signing autograph pictures for people, I kind of got embarrassed for her. This is YouTube. Please share any issues you have, because that would be absolutely great. Yeah, but Amanda, don't you find that a bit tactless? She's here raising money, and then she comes in and says, I've just bought my 15-year-old son who doesn't have a permit a Camaro. To me, that is extremely tactless. Extremely. How does this look to people they're raising the money for? Or how does this look to the people donating the money is the question that should be asked. Would you be happy donating money when one of those people raising the money just went out and bought their son a Camaro? Now, I can tell you that on GoFundMe, $4,800 has been raised. And I can show that to you. I agree with both comments made there. We can't say Laura. And welcome, by the way. Exactly. One day they've got a lawyer, the next they don't even need one because they don't want to upset Dre. And that's another point we got to remember. Elle Bee said on her stream, oh, Wicked, I'm not a fan of Katie by any means, and everyone here should know that, right? I am no fan of Katie's, but when she called I'm losing my mind. Casey Anthony, I felt sick. That made me feel sick. Katie has done a lot of things, but Casey Anthony, that one, yeah, Jenny. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I don't know what possessed her to say that. And what else did she call it? Oh, crystal meth. That one didn't rub the right way with me either. Exactly, Jenny. Katie is garbage. I'll say it. I'll shout it from the rooftops. Katie Joy is garbage. She has done and said some horrible things. Some things I'd like to actually punch her in the face for, including calling a 9-year-old girl a brat. I don't think I'll ever let that one go. But crystal meth and Casey Anthony, no. That one made me sick. Casey Anthony should be in jail or 6 foot under. Either way, wouldn't bother me. Katie has said and done some garbage things, but I would never, ever call her Casey Anthony. In this channel, every opinion is welcome, and I will discuss opinions, but I will not name call. I will not shame someone. Molly is as bad as Katie Joy, if not worse. But we think about some of the things she has done over the last couple of weeks. Because I've only been watching this for the last 3 weeks, and it's been going on for quite a bit longer. But don't tell someone the Casey Anthony. Don't nickname someone crystal meth. I agree. When you've got Elle Bee going over, and there's something that had me concerned a while ago. Elle Bee was on panel with Molly Golightly. Now, Katie has put Elle Bee through hell, right? Now, I'll admit that. I will say that freely. But why did Elle Bee never tell Molly what Katie was capable of? Does anyone else find that a bit weird? That she's never told Molly what Katie's done to her? Possibly, Laura. Possibly. Did Katie refund the money back to her subs from the money she raised to donate to Miss Letitia? She could do it for shock value, but then doesn't that make it worse? If she is purposely doing that for the shock value, does that not make it worse? I'm not going to come here and emphasize on something because it just irritated me a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. But then is it Katie's place to refund her subs? You could say yes, and you could also say no. And I don't know which way I'd actually roll with that one. All I know that a lot of money has been put in, and we don't know how much. We don't know how much they're trying to raise. We do know by the GoFundMe that they're trying to raise 20k, but that is about as transparent as it gets. Now I've heard that what they've raised could come to around 125k. Well, yeah, if they gave it to Katie to give, then she should refund it to them. 100% guaranteed. No, Molly isn't thing with the GoFundMe. Letitia's nephew set up the GoFundMe. Molly doesn't like GoFundMe. Apparently, she got burnt 4 times by GoFundMe. Think about that for a second. Take a second to think about that one. Molly said she doesn't like GoFundMe because she got burnt 4 times. How and why? Has anyone here listened to Elle Bee's stream that she done a couple of days ago? Hey Janet, how you doing, honey? Well, Amanda, we still have to remember we are talking about Katie. And as I said, Katie isn't one of the best people here either. How you doing, Janet, my darling? Now, I finally got done watching 8 hours of Unirock. He can half go on. But if you haven't seen the streams by Unirock, I do suggest you go and watch them. They're very interesting. Go ahead, Amanda. And he never will. And he never will. Has anybody seen the video of Ron talking about his mother? That's an important question. Ron talks quite some time about his mother using him and using his name to scam people. And that there was a reason that he distanced himself from his family. Janet, you don't have to apologise to me, honey. I hope he's feeling a little better when he's had sleep. It sucks when our kids are ill. Poor boy. And I'm going to say this, if my son was in hospital on life support, I wouldn't care if I was in a car with my worst enemy. If it meant that I got there, by damned would I get in that car. Because I would have left the moment I knew. The minute I knew. If I had to hitchhike, I would have got there one way or another. And if they told me I couldn't, I would have said, F you, I'm going to see my kid. And I would have pushed them out of the way and I would have walked straight past them. Dre and an army could not keep me away from my son. And I'm sorry if that sounds brass and rude, but my child, my baby, my son's now 25. I made sure I didn't leave his side until I knew that he was safe. And even then, I had to be dragged away just to go home and take a shower. Wicked, you could have blown it down with, you could blow it down with a feather. She looks so poorly. They all do. She looks so unwell. And I can't drag her because of the way she looks. She got into this K stuff and it has messed her up. It's messed her up real good. And I do think she needs help. That's one way of looking at it. But it's heartbreaking. And I can relate to the stuff that Ron was saying about his family. Because my family is similar. I don't get on with my mum. And she would know that I wouldn't want her there. She wouldn't, nobody would even think about talking to her about it. I think they need their mum to be well, Amanda, and then they'd probably thrive again. She is definitely going through something. And I really, really don't want to judge. Because I think she is struggling with some kind of addiction. These herbs that she's taken, they're not good. They're not. And I feel okay to say that. But I think the effect they're having on her, definitely. When I see pictures of her or videos of her after she started taking K, it breaks my heart. Okay, Janet, I can explain this to you a little bit. It's part of the coffee sort of plants, but it has the effect of opioids. Now, it's not an opioid, but it still gives the same effect as an opioid, and you can still detox from it. So it does everything that an opioid does without actually being an opioid, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's still pretty much a drug, yeah. Do you, Amanda? Interesting. How did it affect you, though? I'm really interested. How did it affect you? How do you feel after you've taken it? Now, I think people know that these things affect people and how they behave different ways, depending on how much they're taking and how often they're taking it. So, if you're being really responsible with it, which it sounds to me like you are. Ah, okay. I don't really get that euphoria thing from pain meds, though. They don't tend to have much of an effect on me. Like, I take a lot of pain meds, but I'm still up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, "Oh my God, just please stop hurting." Now, I don't believe we can get it in the UK anyway. Mm, in some states, I believe it's illegal. I don't know if it's illegal in the UK. I believe it is. I think they're trying to ban it in all states. Interesting. Thank you. That is very interesting. Like, I take pain meds every day, and I hate it. Like, I hate having to take pain meds. But every morning I wake up and I gotta take them. Every night before I go to bed, I gotta take them. That's just the way things are. I'm trying to get any doctor's help since this C19 is like, don't even bother in the UK. Oh, for sure, Janet. You could put 50 people in a room and ah, Now, I take, what is it? I'm on these slow release sort of pain meds. Oral morph and codeine. But I function well all day. But I think if you put 50 people in a room and you were told the same 50 people to take the same amount, they would all come back with a different opinion. Because every person will be affected differently, in my opinion, anyway. But I'm kind of happy to have people here who know what it is and have taken it. So she's taken a lot of it then, trying to get the same effect that she would have off the, say, codeine. Hmm. That is heartbreaking. That really is heartbreaking. Yeah, someone said about something about lime effect making it affect you differently. She does look like she is getting some kind of high out of it though, which is equally as heartbreaking. Have a great day, Janet. Thank you for dropping in, my darling. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I hope you're both feeling better, Janet. Yeah, she talks about something called passion flower. But there are a lot of different herbs that she's definitely got. Yeah, they both needed help. I would say the whole family probably does at this point, especially the little boy. I just don't know what to say about it because the whole situation is just. He was clearly very depressed, and he stated that. And honestly, I think she is, but she's in denial because of being Jehovah's Witness. She doesn't like medication, so she's thinking this natural stuff is better than sort of pharmacy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I almost cried when he said that he had it every day. I actually think I did cry that day when I seen that. Because he is so little, bless him. Shouldn't be taking these things. And the girls too, they've lost so much weight. Yes, Amanda. That is concerning. No, I wouldn't give it to my kids, not in a million years. Smoking gabapentin, oh my God. That's insane. It does seem that way, Amanda, because she did speak about giving him stuff without him knowing too, and that was tablet form. I can't remember what it was, but she called it the white tablet. Now I did take gabapentin for a while, but it didn't do any good for me, so they changed me over to amitriptyline. But like, to smoke it, that's insane. They will do anything to find a kick out of it, won't they? Oh, for sure. If you take something and you take it wrong, it can really mess you up. If you take too many of a certain vitamin, it can really mess your system up. And as nuts as that sounds, it does. You've got to be careful of like everything you take. Polynucleotide. Okay. I think I mentioned before that I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, Raynaud's disease, and God knows what else. Sometimes I think I wish I didn't know. Ah, yeah, that can be nasty. It's getting close now to 3 years since I found out I have a shoulder impingement, and I was told that I may need surgery for it. Then C19 happened, and I was told I had to wait. Now, still to this day, they keep referring me to physiotherapy, and physiotherapy keep referring me back to the doctors because I have no pain control. And they don't want to deal with me with no pain control, so they can't do nothing. Then I go back to the doctors, and again, they'll refer me to physiotherapy. And it's just a vicious loop. And nobody wants to deal with what's going on my shoulder. Oh yeah, nerve damage can be the worst. And all I want to do is get to play with my kids and make life good for those when I'm stuck in a corner crying in pain. But like this family need help. This family need something. But she won't listen. And that's an issue. She won't listen to the fact that they need help. Exactly. I just wish there was a way, I wish there was something that she would listen to. But this money stuff, I think people need to stop giving. I think people need to stop giving money until they're more transparent, until they can say, this is how much we're trying to raise. This is how much we're trying to raise. This is how much we've raised. And this is what we have done so far to date. And until then, I'm going to be questioning where this money's going, who is benefiting off this money. Because if you look at it, how much do you see being raised a day? Each day, how much do you see people donating? On a daily, it's been thousands. How many people were upset after the Michael Long problem? After raising 200,000 in that little girl's name. And he took the money, he took the little girl, and he ran. He left. Went to Mexico, apparently. Now, oh, for sure, Amanda. But if a 9-year-old girl came to me tomorrow and said the exact same thing, until there was full proof that she was lying, I would believe her in a heartbeat. I'm not saying I would raise all that money, but I would believe her. Amanda, curse away, honey. I see this as another Michael Long situation. I'm sorry, but that is what I see. I see endless amounts of money being gifted. There was uproar when it was proven that Michael Long was lying. People were so pissed off that they donated all this money to find out that it was a lie. None at all. And then he abducted that little girl at Iran with over 200K. If they only give us what they said they would. Full transparency. The name calling needs to stop. The petty accusations need to stop. As for Elle Bee saying if you think it's dodgy, then you're probably the one committing the problem. And Elle Bee can try as much as she wants to turn this around on Katie Joy. But I ain't falling for her. Did you know that Elle Bee said that Katie convinced her that she was having her car repossessed? Katie convinced Elle Bee that James Westbrook had offed his mother. Do you believe that? They're all stumbling over their words when it comes to talking about this matter. You got Justice for Life telling people to put it in their pipe and smoke it. You got Molly just full out raging against people. And then Elle Bee, very much like Justin, is stumbling over her words to say anything to take the spotlight off them. And when I first started getting suspicious, I thought that Elle Bee was the one who would be the most trustable. But Amanda, when she's saying the people who are saying this is suspicious is the ones probably who would do this, then there's an issue, because that's deflecting. So because I'm suspicious of where this money is going, I'm the one who's going to be the one who defrauds people. As I said at the beginning, if I came here and said I need to buy a stair lift and pay for it to get installed, but then the money came in and I thought, I'm going to take my kids to Disneyland or I'm going to buy a puppy, how would the people who gave that money feel? They paid for a stair lift. They didn't pay for a trip to Disneyland. I thought that in the beginning, Amanda, but I'm second guessing myself now. I don't feel right about any of it. And the more I think about it, the more I feel unsettled about it. Just talking here about it has given me extra reasons to just be more concerned about these people who've given a lot of money. And when you see people saying, I'm going to donate more when I next get paid, as a community, we should be asking questions. Because of what happened with Michael Long. Because of Katie with the Ronald McDonald thing. Because of everything that's happened in the past. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Everything comes out in the end. But we have to look back at the history. How many times has this happened? Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. The way Elle Bee sat there and allowed Molly to rip someone to shreds. Nah, I don't trust her no more. She sat there while Molly shredded someone and said nothing. I'm sorry, but I could not have sat there and I could not have listened to that. I wouldn't have felt right sitting on that panel while Molly shredded that woman to bits. Now, let's remember this woman is disabled. She gave the last of her money, which meant she would have been going without 2 or 3 meals, because she saw a mother in need. When she asked where that money was going and how much was raised for that purpose, she was shredded. When she asked for her money back, and she won't. None of them will. None of them will address this and be honest. None of them are going to bring any transparency to this now. And even if they did now, it's too late. It is too little too late. Because no matter what they say now, right now, I wouldn't believe a word they said. How could I believe anything she said now? Any of them? I can't justify anything from this point on. Yeah, I do need a stair lift, but I wouldn't go out and buy something that someone else gave me money towards funding. I would love to have a puppy too. But hey, I don't have £700 to go out and pay for a puppy. I just can't with these people. The things that have been done and the things that have been said. And I'm sorry, but I can't get off the Cassie Anthony comment. And the crystal meth comment. Because they make my blood boil, those comments. Why? Why go that low? Just can't be justified. What Cassie Anthony done to a little girl will live with me forever. When I see these stories of children that have been hurt, they stay with me. There was a little boy in the UK and they called him Baby P. I can still see the pictures in the newspapers. I still see that little face. And this is going back a couple of years ago. And it destroyed me. What happened to baby P totally destroyed me. And when she came out of prison, because she was released, I wanted to go looking for her. Thanks for joining, Amanda. Really appreciate it. Thank you. But I did. I wanted to go looking for his mother the day she got released. And Katie's done some shitty things, but to call her Cassie Anthony, I just can't admit. It upsets me too much. All of this has got so out of hand that it just needs to be stopped right now. Everything, the fundraising, the videos, it all needs to be stopped. These 5-hour streams, but what really cracks me is the signed the autographed pictures. Autographed pictures. What level of fame does Molly think she's at? Do you know what Molly is going to be remembered for? The woman who turned up at the house of Brian Laundrie. The woman who stood outside the house screaming her head off. Now they forget about wife swap. But the woman who turned up on the door of Brian Laundrie. Or Wells' house. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have turned up on their house and said, where is she? But Molly takes everything way too far. And I can't sit here and be quiet about it. I can't. It doesn't feel right to sit here and just be quiet about what they're doing. I agree. It is a carnival. And can we please stop thinking this is all about Katie Joy? That's the one thing that's getting to me. This is not about Katie Joy. This is about Molly, Justin, and Elle Bee. And the family. The fundraiser needs to stop. The 5-hour streams need to stop. Hey, really, Kay, how you doing, honey? I don't feel right sitting here saying nothing. And if you haven't seen Unirock's videos, you've got to go and see them, because he's done actually an amazing job of all the stuff he's put together. I was really blown away. Unirock, I can give or take with Unirock. He's sort of whatever. But as hard as this is to say, I don't see Marwan waking up. It's heartbreaking. There is a little boy who's losing his daddy. Can we just remember that for one moment, please? A little boy is losing his daddy. He's 7. And he's already losing one of the most important people in his world. That makes me sad. Absolutely. People are using their hate for Katie as a diversion. And I'm not surprised one bit that EKC made a video supporting Molly. Because as long as it's against Katie Joy, then it's all good. There are creators here that as long as they're going against Katie Joy, then they don't care what the other outcome is. We need to be realistic and forget about Katie Joy for 5 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Katie Joy changing her hair to look like someone. Absolutely, Sarah. But out of all of this, if there is anything more important that needs to be discussed, is a little boy who's not only been given these herbs. Oh, Charlotte is going to champion Molly. She was having a pity me party last night for Molly. Take Katie out of the question. Take the family who weren't even close to him out of the question. Let's talk about this little boy who's been given these herbs, who probably doesn't understand what is going on because he is too young. He doesn't know what these herbs are doing to him. He doesn't know if he feels right, if he feels the way he's supposed to. He doesn't understand any of that. He doesn't understand that his daddy is likely not coming back. Who's thinking about all the things that have been said would affect these children? All of this is going to affect all 3 children. The lies, the accusations. There are people who've accused Dre of doing something to her husband. If you look at the police reports, there are previous calls where he tried to hurt himself. He was seriously depressed. Hey Alice, how you doing, sweetie? Nothing in the newspapers, no? Come on, guys, be realistic. There's a reason that there's nothing in the newspapers. There's a reason there's been no charges pressed. There is a reason for all of this. Yeah, me too, Alice. Me too. We all need to think about what we're putting out because everything we put out is there forever. Making accusations that you know nothing about is wrong. These accusations live on longer than the person making them. These children are going to have to deal with these accusations one day. No, none of them care about these kids. Not one of them have thought for one moment about what the effect of this will all have on the kids. And that makes me angry. Everyone knows Katie's a shitty person and she does shitty stuff. Molly is known for being a shitty person. I realise that now. Because this time 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was singing her praises. I thought she was amazing. Oh boy, did I have her mistaken. Oh boy, was I fucking wrong. Katie only cares about money. Oh my god, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Them ashy knees. Why would you even think of that? Why would you even think of that? I'm going to show you something, guys. Give me a second. Okay, I'm about to show you guys something. This here is my great-great-grandfather. This man right here. He came to the UK via Runaway Bay while the railways were being built in the UK. So when I hear someone say something like, I want to lotion those ashy knees, I feel personally insulted. I'm proud of where my roots come from. This younger one here was my great-great-grandfather. Thank you, Alice. I am from Wales in the UK. I have a very Welsh accent. So to say I feel insulted by those ashy knees is probably an understatement. I feel proud of where my roots come from. I may not get on with my family for our own reasons, but I could never treat people the way that I see people being treated. Which clip's that, Wicked? The ashy knees. If it's the ashy knees, I don't think I do have it. I think I was I was too angry. I just clicked off there. I just had to click off there. I was too angry. I was ready to blow. I was so ready to blow that. Let me see if I can get it. Do you remember which live he was in? I know who might. I know who might have it. No, you don't. You don't need to have black in your family to know it's disrespectful. It was disgusting. And it made me literally want to throw up. The fact that someone could be that naive and that careless and that sort of insensitive. Thank you, Sarah. Mm. Okay, this what was said about the way that dreadlocks a hermaphrodite. How could she even say that word? How could she even say that? I recently found out that my daughter has autism. My daughter is one of the happiest, sweetest little girls you could even imagine to meet. I would go through heaven and hell if one of my kids was in trouble. I would travel in any vehicle. I would walk if I had to protect my children. Oh, yeah, my kids. Funny story, my little boy is 7 years old. And if I get a delivery from Beauty Bay, he will bring me the parcel and he will say, "Mommy, I bought you this." He doesn't know what's in the parcel, but he bought it for me. It doesn't matter what's in it, he still bought it for me. Every eyeshadow palette I got, my son will tell you he bought for me. That is my babies. That is my world, my life. I would do anything it took to protect them. They're literally everything. And her brother is so amazing with her. He thinks he has to protect her all the time because he knows that she's not exactly like the other children. They're my world. If someone hurt them, if they were in a coma, you wouldn't stop me. I wouldn't be coming online to raise money. I have 4. I got 2 grown children. And I've got 2 little ones. 1 second. I have 4. I have 2 grown, 2 babies. How do you do this on this one now? Thank you. Well, two of them are actually grown adults. I hate trying to find photos. I have two kids in their 20s. Oh, that's why you only got one, because you had a lot to deal with. But he was your special one, for sure. And we have 3 grandchildren, which I love to bits. Why can't I find the damn thing? Okay, I got an idea. There, got it. Oh, you're allowed to be unbiased. You have to be. You're a mama. Okay, found it. No. There. And all 4 of my babies. I would move mountains if it came to protecting my babies. My absolute world. Thanks for stopping by, really. Have a good day, honey. And I also have a daughter on my husband's side too. So there's 5 of them. 5 kids, 3 grandkids. And I would move mountains if any of them were hurt. I would crawl on my knees if I had to. The internet would be the last place I would become in. How do people do it? How are people okay with just going online and making everything look like it's not what it is? We've seen it with Michael Long. We've seen it so many times. It never matters, does it? It doesn't matter who they're taken away from. People may be okay to donate. It does. When someone is donating for a reason, they're donating because they care. They're donating because they see something that they want to help. Oh, Win, that's amazing. I would love to if I had the room. If I had the space, I would take in every child I could. But I think we got to remember when people are donating, they're taking stuff away from their own table. They're giving up something of their own because they feel they want to help. And if that's being taken advantage of, they're going to do it time after time until the people realize what is going on. I don't like what I see. And I have to speak up about it. Okay, guys, I need to call this a night because I am getting too emotional. And we've almost been here 2 hours. And I need to sleep and it's too hot. So, I want to thank everybody who's been here tonight. It's been great. I've loved all the different opinions. I've loved all the input. And I shall be back soon with another live because this was fun. Good night, everybody.